excited because we have someone very special on the line. And Jackie, I'm going to have you actually talk about the Emulin. Jackie Boyle is one of our leaders out in Australia in Valencia. She's also the international marketing manager for the creator of Emulin, Dr. Joseph Abrams. And she has an amazing knowledge on this product, but she also has an amazing story. And I asked her to come on just to introduce herself, to talk a little bit about Emulin, and just to inspire us with her story. It's absolutely incredible. So Jackie, if you can unmute yourself, there you go. We'd love to hear from you, and thanks for being on.
Thank you so much, Dawn and Bill, for inviting me. And also thank you, Rob and Rebecca, because I know I haven't had the pleasure to meet you guys. And you're certainly a dynamic couple, and I look forward to having more to do with you. But, you know, Dr. Ahrens himself, I've known him for 4.5 years now, or a little bit over 4.5 years. And it was through this amazing product, Emulin, that I had a pharmacist who knocked on my door, actually on my husband's door. He knew I was really sick, and we had a fitness center and rehab center for over 25 years, and I was struggling. And you know, I've had sickness from birth, so operated on at 2 hours old, and I was in hospital for 18 months, adopted at 18 months old, and then I've just had a series of surgeries, I think 28 major surgeries and over 350 day surgeries. I have 4 scheduled day surgeries every year, every 3 months, to do with my bladder. And this is where it becomes quite interesting with this product, because at the age of 50, I'm 55 now, I was scheduled and diagnosed to be in a wheelchair. Life was pretty grim. I didn't have a whole lot of hope, and I honestly really didn't want to be here. Between having a chronic bladder problem from birth, having a bowel issue as well, through to I ended up having 3 spinal surgeries. So I have 2 cages, and I've had that immobilized as well. I have fibromyalgia, sensory peripheral neuropathy. In my darkest of days, because I had a car accident, and that was the cause of having to have the 3rd spinal surgery. And it also derailed what was happening with the management of my bladder. I ended up with a device in for my bladder internally, like a Bluetooth device, to be able to try and manage the stimulus for that. That wasn't working so well. I ended up with another device on the other side of my body that went into my spine, again, to try and control the neural pathways that were creating pain. My body rejected it. That had to be taken out. Life was pretty shitty, I have to honestly say. You know, I was on 14 medications, and if I wasn't at home, I wasn't able to work anymore. We had to sell our business, and my husband kept working. He's in the professional athletes world. He was one himself, and he now is a coach, and he lectures in that space. So Emulin came into our door, and I was full of anxiety, full of depression. I had gone down the suicide path. I'm not proud of it, but I want you to know that the power of this product. Waking up in hospital the next day and looking at my 2 children was not one of my most proudest moments, but I was sick of living and not having any hope. And so when this pharmacist came in with Emulin, I thought, what have I got to lose? So I started trying this product, and within the first week, 2 weeks, the first thing I noticed was I could actually think. That brain fog that was there started to lift, and I could start to actually time manage. Like I could actually put a task in front of me and actually achieve it. And it was through Dr. Ahrens, who worked with me very closely, and that's how the friendship developed through there, that he helped me through this. And I went through, you know, the first 3 months was horrific, and it was through my decision to just go cold turkey off a lot of these drugs. So when we talk drugs, it's morphine, OxyContin, you're looking at Neurontin, Endone, Panadine Fort, Seroquel. I was going into hospital having ketamine infusions, which was for 10 days straight, to try and realign my neural system and the signals that were going from the brain down to the nerves, to try and like rebooting your computer, really, that you're trying to intervene and give your body a bit of a rest. That wasn't working either. It was just a Band-Aid. Everything was just a Band-Aid. So when I started taking Emulin and I understood the power of the Emulin with these 3 active ingredients, that it was the world's first carbohydrate manager, I have a very good understanding. My background is as a beautician. I went into the sports world. We, as I said, owned our own fitness center, rehab center. I was in the ambulance for a while, and then I did my pathology degree. So it's always been searching for health and wellness. And why have I switched? Is because my health has dictated what I have done. But what I did recognize with Emulin was the ability to be able to manage carbohydrates in 7 key points throughout the body. That really intrigued me, and the fact that it could control sugars became a really big, interesting factor for me. So I did a lot more research in that, took it to my doctors. So by the 3-month period, and I was keeping a diary because I'd had the car accident, so I was going through a lawsuit as well with that because it wasn't my fault, and it had derailed everything as I knew it. And you've got to understand that when I say derail, I mean derail. I lost my family. I lost my friends. I couldn't go to the supermarket because my bladder, I would be all of a sudden standing in a puddle of urine. This is how bad things were. It was horrific, not to mention the pain. My upper body was like I was in a freezer box with a neuropathy, and my lower body was like it was in a sauna all at the same time. It was nearly just driving me insane within my head, just didn't know what to do with itself. But gradually over the 3-month period, the first 3 months in that blood cycle, things started to change. And I could start to feel the difference that the symptoms weren't as severe. And the next 3 months did another change. I went through this massive detox, and between 3 to 6 months, I decided myself that I would just go cold turkey off of all of my medications. And I told my GP this, and I said to her, this is what I'm doing. And she said, I don't agree with it. But she said, that's what you want to do. And I did. Shut the doors, went through the whole detox, which was quite horrific. Came out the other side, still work with Dr. Ahrens. And, by the 12-month period, I was a different person. I was on one medication, which was an antibiotic. And that continued the antibiotic for another 8 months. And then I was able to get off of that. I take one medication now, which is for sleep. I was a chronic insomniac, so I was taking 8 to 10 sleeping tablets of a night. I now take 2 because my body's a lot happier. But the interesting factor is that my leading urologist wrote a letter, and I have that in writing, to say he met Dr. Ahrens when I had him come out here 2 years ago, and he could tell Dr. Ahrens what he could see on the inside. I can tell you all of these things and people will go, it just sounds too good to be true. But my urologist put it in a letter and said to me what he could see on the inside, because by 9 months, every 3 months I'm in under day surgery, he said, what are you doing differently? He said, because you were always full of ulcerated ulcers, and I self-catheterized for the last 30 plus years. And he said, we're putting Botox into your bladder. And he said, and you're always full of, bleeding pussy ulcers internally. And he said, they're all gone. They're just totally gone. He said, but the bladder wall itself was still angry and agitated. By the 12-month period, that had stopped. And so, by the time Dr. Ahrens came along and visited this leading urologist, Dr. William Lynch, I sat and cried because I wasn't aware of what the anaesthetist was telling my urologist at the time. He said, because whilst we're under anaesthetic, we have no control over our body. So people will tell you they're in pain, but in actual fact, they're not as bad as what they think they are. Or there'll be the other people that are the silent warriors that are in a lot of pain and they play it down. And he said, what used to happen with you was, he said, under anaesthetic, we'd have 2 nurses holding you down. He said, and then when we saw, we could hear you in post-op, in recovery, screaming for the next hour. And that side of it, I remember. But he said, we don't need the nurses anymore to hold you down under anaesthetic when you're in every 3 months. He said that you're just a normal patient that is a happy patient coming in, getting this procedure done. What's changed? It's just been Emulin. and I work with Dr. Ahrens to be able to find the happy medium on what was the correct dose. There is no correct dose. There's no correct dose for any one person. I play with what I take with Emulin. So I take 8 to 10 a day. I may increase that to 14 if my body is under being challenged by certain things. But I will say with 24/7 AM and PM, when I started taking that, because it has 2 active ingredients in it, the same as what Emulin does, that has given me the support that's allowed me to be able to lessen a few of the Emulin, because I'm getting the additional chlorogenic acid and amycretin out of the 24/7, but it's assisted with my sleep. That's the other thing as well. So, but whilst I look at this menu of products that we have, that I believe with Valentis is literally a menu of excellence, because I take 14 of those products. I'm not just an Emulin 24/7 baby. I love a lot of the products. So I am a product of the products, so to speak. But my favorite is Emulin and 24/7. And the reason being why I hitched my wagon to Dr. Ahrens was because my personal story, I'm not making any claims to heal, cure, and or fix here. This is just my personal story. My GP actually wrote a letter as well and put it in writing. And it's a big thing for a doctor to put their name on the bottom of a product that they believe in. And she actually sends me clients when she gets people that she doesn't know what to do with. Try Emulin. And that's the only reason why that I believe it's saved my life. It's given me life back. It's given me the freedom to be able to live again, to enjoy my family, and to be able to do what I'm doing now, and to be able to work with Dr. Ahrens is nothing short of a pure honor, to be honest. And this is why, for me, I just want to be able to get on the top of the mountain and just shout it out to everybody, to think that I just had a series of tests about 6 weeks ago, and all of my tests came back from 5 years ago, from bowel, bladder, etc., full blood count. There's not 1 ounce of inflammation in anything anywhere. And they said you're actually in better health than what you were 5 years ago, even though you still have all of these symptoms that you're dealing with. And I still have peripheral neuropathy. I'm still in every 3 months to have day surgery. I can't avoid that. That has to happen. But my symptoms are managed. I feel as though that it's been an anti-aging, and because it's just, I feel at peace because my body's a lot happier. So then therefore I haven't got that drain on my body. So my skin is in a lot better condition. Everything within my body is just functioning a lot better. And I look at it from where we're heading on May 1st with the athletes, and we know that we've had a snippet there. My husband takes this product. This is a man that's had knee replacements, shoulder replacements. We've got other elite athletes, retired ones, that have been taking it for 4 years. They just don't get sore. Their recovery is just amazing. So I'm very, very excited to see what's going to happen from May 1st going on. But I can say from the heart, I have nothing but respect for Dr. Joseph Ahrens, a dual-nominated Nobel Prize scientist. You need to give this product time to work, because so many times I've given a bottle of this to somebody and they've said exactly what I heard Dawn say earlier. It doesn't work. It does. But it's going to create an imbalance in your body and make you feel unhappy, because it's going to redirect your carbohydrates in 7 key points. It's going to control the sugars that you consume. So your body's going to have a bit of a knee-jerk response and say, hey, I'm not really happy about what you're doing to me, because it's used to absorbing those things and just dumping it in the body, whereas now it's actually managing it, controlling it more efficiently to help your body function and provide you with those missing flavonoids. So the body starts to find a new balance, and you find over a period of time, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. So I do tell people, don't even think about starting this product if you're not going to commit to it for at least 3 months. I guarantee you'll get a difference in a week, 2 weeks, but 3 months, you're going to notice a huge difference. And there's a 90-day money back guarantee for it. So that's my story. I can't thank this product enough, and I can't thank Valentis enough, and I can't thank Dave and Joyce enough for bringing Dr. Ahrens to this company, to just about to launch it into the world.
Awesome.
I just think it's an amazing product.
Thank you so much, Jackie. We really appreciate you, and thank you for sharing your heart and your story.
Thank you so much for getting